You try. You work. You stay busy. You do all the things you're supposed to do. You check the boxes. You build the life that looks good on paper. But deep down, when the noise stops, when you're alone with your thoughts in the quiet of the night, there's this ache. It's a strange, hollow feeling. It's the feeling that you're building a life that doesn't quite belong to you. It's like you're an actor in your own movie, saying lines someone else wrote for you. You can have a great job, a loving partner, a comfortable home, and still feel lost. You can achieve a goal you've worked years for, and at the moment of victory, you feel nothing, just empty. That's because you're missing one invisible thing, an invisible force that makes everything else feel right, feel real, feel like it matters. It's the one thing that separates a life of frantic, exhausting effort from a life of deep, quiet fulfillment. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what that one thing is and how to make it part of your life starting today. And if you're new here, this is English Made Easy. Our channel helps you learn English in the simplest and most natural way possible through real-life lessons, deep thinking, and meaningful stories. Don't worry if you hear a difficult word. I'll explain it in plain English, so you not only improve your language, but your life too. So, what is this one thing? It's not a secret formula. It's not a new productivity hack. It's not more money or more success or more love. In fact, it's the opposite of something you go out and get. It's something you must build inside. Let's call it your internal anchor. Think about a ship in the ocean. The ocean is your life. Sometimes it's calm and beautiful. The sun is shining, the water is clear. Other times, it's a storm. The waves are huge, the wind is howling, and you can't see where you're going. This is the natural rhythm of life. Chaos, calm, confusion, clarity. Now, a ship without an anchor is completely at the mercy of the ocean. When the storm comes, the waves push it anywhere they want. The ship drifts, lost and directionless. It might even crash against the rocks. When the weather is calm, it just floats aimlessly. It has no stability. It has no home base. Many of us live our lives like this ship. We are pushed around by the opinions of others, by the pressures of society, by our own fears. We react to everything. A criticism at work sends us into a spiral of self-doubt. A friend's success makes us feel jealous and inadequate. A small bit of bad news ruins our entire day. We are constantly drifting. An anchor is what gives the ship stability. It connects the ship to the solid ground deep beneath the turbulent, ever-changing surface of the water. The storm can still be raging. The waves can still be crashing. But the ship with an anchor holds its position. It doesn't get lost. It doesn't get smashed against the rocks. It has a point of stability in the middle of chaos. This is what an internal anchor does for your soul. It's your unshakable sense of who you are. It's your set of core values, the things you believe in so deeply that they are non-negotiable. It's your personal definition of a meaningful life. It is a profound understanding of your own character. That word, profound, it means deep, intense, and full of meaning. It's not a surface-level idea. It's a deep down in your bones kind of knowing. A profound sense of self is the ultimate anchor. But here's the problem. Here's the mistake almost all of us make. We don't build an internal anchor. Instead, we try to create external anchors. We think our job will be our anchor. We say, if I can just get that promotion, that title, then I will feel secure. Then I will know I am valuable. So you throw your anchor onto your career. But what happens when you lose that job? Or when you get the promotion and discover it doesn't make you happy? The anchor breaks, and you're drifting again. You feel completely disillusioned. Do you know this word? To be disillusioned means to feel deeply disappointed because you discovered that something you believed in or someone you admired is not as good as you thought. It's a painful feeling, like waking up from a beautiful dream only to find your reality is cold and empty. You were disillusioned by your dream job because you thought it would save you, but it was just a job. Or maybe you make a person your anchor. A romantic partner, a parent, a best friend. You think, as long as I have this person's love and approval, I am okay. They are my rock. You wrap your anchor's chain around them. But people are not rocks. People are people. They have their own storms. They have their own journeys. They might leave. They might change. They might disappoint you. And when they do, your anchor's gone, and you feel more lost than ever before. We try to anchor ourselves to money, to social status, to our physical appearance, to the number of likes we get on a photo. We are constantly searching for something outside of ourselves to hold us steady. But all of these things are ephemeral. This is a beautiful and important word. Ephemeral. It means lasting for a very short time, temporary, like a sunset or a flower or a feeling of excitement. Your youth is ephemeral. Your job title is ephemeral. Money comes and goes. The approval of others is the most ephemeral thing of all. Trying to anchor your soul to something ephemeral is like trying to anchor a real ship to a cloud. It offers no stability. It just drifts away with you. So, you keep chasing the next thing. The next job, the next relationship, the next goal. You think this time it will be different. This will be the thing that finally makes me feel whole. But it never is. Because you're not solving the real problem. The problem isn't that you haven't found the right external anchor. The problem is that you haven't built your internal one. So how do you do it? How do you forge this anchor inside of you? It's not a quick process. It's a quiet one. It's a journey of turning inward, away from the noise of the world and toward the silence of your own heart. It starts with asking yourself questions that no one else can answer for you. You need to find a quiet space. No phone, no TV, no other people. Just you, a pen, and a piece of paper. Or maybe just you on a walk in nature. And you need to start a conversation with yourself. You ask the first big question. What do I truly, deeply believe in? Not what your parents told you to believe, not what your teachers or your culture told you to believe, not what you think sounds good. What do you, in the core of your being, believe is right? Do you believe in kindness above all else? Do you believe in honesty, even when it's hard? Do you believe in creativity, in courage, in loyalty, in freedom, in justice? Write these words down. Don't judge them. Don't overthink them. Just write down the values that make your heart feel solid. This is the beginning of finding your authenticity. This is another powerful word, authenticity. It comes from the word authentic, which means real or genuine. Authenticity is the quality of being true to your own personality, spirit, and character. It means there is no gap between who you are on the inside and who you show to the world on the outside. Living with authenticity is one of the deepest forms of peace you can experience. When you know what you believe in, you can start living in alignment with those beliefs. And that alignment creates a feeling of strength. Next, you ask yourself another question. When do I feel most like myself? Think about your entire life. Think of moments when you felt completely alive, completely engaged, completely you. Was it when you were helping someone? Was it when you were solving a complex problem? Was it when you were creating something with your hands? Was it when you were laughing with your oldest friends? Was it when you were alone, reading a book? Pay attention to these moments. They are clues. They are pointing you toward your true nature. The activities, the environments, the people that make you feel authentic, they are the materials you will use to build your anchor. Maybe you realize you feel most like yourself when you're teaching someone something new. That tells you that contribution or guidance might be a core part of your anchor. Maybe you feel most like yourself when you're organizing a messy room. That tells you that order or clarity might be essential to your stability. This isn't about what you're good at. You might be a great accountant, but you feel most alive when you're gardening. The world may reward you for being an accountant, but your soul is fed by the soil. Your anchor is in the garden. This doesn't mean you have to quit your job. It means you must find a way to honor that part of you. You must make space for the garden in your life because that is where your strength comes from. Now, I want to give you a small, simple challenge. Right now, or right after this video, take 5 minutes. Find a piece of paper or open a note on your phone. I want you to write down the answer to this sentence. A life well lived is a life of, and then write down 3 to 5 words. Just words. For me, it might be, a life well lived is a life of kindness, curiosity, creativity, and courage. For you, it might be of service, family, stability, and peace. Or maybe of adventure, growth, freedom, and passion. There is no right answer. There is only your answer. Look at those words. These are the metals you will forge your anchor from. These are your guiding stars. Once you start to get a sense of what your anchor is made of, your values, your authentic self, something incredible begins to happen. The world doesn't get less chaotic. The storms don't stop, but you change. You become more resilient. Let's talk about that word, resilience. To be resilient is to be able to recover quickly from difficulties. It's toughness. Think of a bamboo plant in a strong wind. It bends, it bends, it bends almost to the ground, but it doesn't break. And when the wind stops, it springs back up. That is resilience. When you have a strong internal anchor, you become like that bamboo. Someone criticizes your work. Before, it might have broken you. You would have spent days feeling worthless. But now, you have your anchor. You can ask yourself, was the criticism fair? Can I learn from it? Maybe you can, but it doesn't challenge your fundamental worth because your worth isn't anchored to your performance at work. It's anchored to your core values, like your commitment to growth or your belief in your own creativity. The criticism is just the wind. It might make you bend, but it won't break you. You face a major life change. You lose a job or a relationship ends. It's painful. It's a storm. Before, this might have destroyed you because your entire identity was anchored to that external thing. But now you grieve. You feel the pain, but you don't lose yourself. Your anchor holds. You know that you are still you. You are still a person who values kindness, courage, and curiosity. The situation has changed, but your core has not. You are still anchored. This anchor also becomes your decision-making compass. Life is a series of choices, big choices and small choices. Should I take this job? Should I move to this city? Should I stay in this relationship? Should I speak up in this meeting? Should I spend my money on this thing? Without an anchor, we make decisions based on fear, on ego, or on what we think we should do. We ask, what will make me look most successful? Or what is the safest option? Or what will other people think? But when you have your anchor, you ask a different, more powerful question. Does this choice align with who I am? Does this job offer align with my core value of creativity? Or does it conflict with my core value of freedom? Does this relationship support my value of growth? Or does it violate my value of honesty? This creates a feeling of congruence. This is a C2 level word, but the feeling is universal. Congruence. It's a state where your actions and your behaviors are in harmony with your values and beliefs. It's the opposite of being a hypocrite. It's when what you do on the outside matches who you are on the inside. Congruence is a quiet, powerful form of happiness. It feels like coming home to yourself. Let me tell you a short hypothetical story. Imagine a woman named Maya. For years, her anchor was external. It was academic success. She worked hard, got perfect grades, and earned a prestigious law degree. She landed a job at a top corporate law firm. On paper, she was a massive success. Her parents were proud, her friends were envious. But every morning, she woke up with a feeling of dread. The work was demanding and often required her to be aggressive and confrontational, defending large corporations and questionable lawsuits. She spent her days in a state of internal conflict. She was tired, anxious, and felt a deep sense of emptiness. She was disillusioned. Her life looked perfect, but it felt hollow. She was a ship in a calm harbor, but she was drifting because her anchor was tied to the idea of success, not to her own soul. One day, after a particularly draining week, she finally sat with herself in the quiet. She did the work. She asked the hard questions. What did she really believe in? When did she feel most alive? She realized her core values were not prestige and wealth. They were justice, compassion, and community. She remembered that she felt most alive in university when she was volunteering at a legal aid clinic, helping people who couldn't afford a lawyer. That was her truth. So she made a terrifying choice. She quit her high-paying job. Her parents were confused. Her colleagues thought she was crazy. The world told her she was making a huge mistake. The storm of outside opinion was raging. But Maya had started to build her internal anchor. She took a much lower paying job at a nonprofit organization that helped immigrant families. The work was still hard, but it was different. It was meaningful to her. When she went to work, she wasn't fighting against her own values. She was living them. She felt a sense of congruence. She wasn't as rich, she wasn't as prestigious, but she felt solid. She felt real. For the first time, she felt anchored. Her life wasn't suddenly perfect. There were still stressful days and difficult challenges. But she was no longer drifting. She knew who she was and what she stood for. The storm could come, but she would hold. This is the power of the internal anchor. But you have to be careful. An anchor is not something you build once and then forget about. It needs maintenance. Life will try to corrode it. The world will constantly offer you new, shiny, ephemeral things to anchor to. Your ego will tempt you to pull up your anchor and drift toward what looks easy or impressive. So you must be meticulous in your practice of self-awareness. Meticulous. This word means showing great attention to detail, being very careful and precise. You have to be meticulous about checking in with yourself. How do you do that? It's in the small daily moments. It's taking 2 minutes in the morning before you pick up your phone to just breathe and ask yourself, what is my intention for today? How can I honor my values today? It's journaling for 10 minutes before bed, not just about what you did, but about how you felt. When did I feel authentic today? When did I feel like I was drifting? It's learning to say no. Saying no to a request, an invitation, or an opportunity that deep down you know is wrong for you. Every time you say a brave no to the outside world, you are saying a powerful yes to your internal anchor. You are strengthening its chain. It's a visceral process. Let's learn that word, visceral. It refers to deep inward feelings rather than to the intellect, a gut feeling. When you have a strong anchor, you will start to have a visceral reaction to things that are wrong for you. A job interview will just feel wrong. A conversation will feel inauthentic. Your body, your intuition, will tell you when you are about to drift from your anchor point. You have to learn to listen to that visceral wisdom. The world will not celebrate this journey. There are no awards for building an internal anchor. There are no promotions for living a life of congruence. It is a quiet, personal, and sometimes lonely rebellion. It is the act of choosing your own definition of a good life over the one the world tries to sell you. You will see others chasing external anchors, the bigger house, the fancier car, the more important title. And for a moment, you might feel a pang of doubt. Am I doing the right thing? Am I falling behind? In those moments, you must return to your anchor. You must feel its weight, its stability. You must remember the feeling of drifting in the storm. You must remember the hollow emptiness that comes from a life that is not your own. And you will know. You will know that what you are building is real. It is solid. It is yours. While others are sailing frantically from port to port, searching for a place to feel safe, you are already home. Because home is not a place. It's a state of being. It's the feeling of being securely anchored in your own truth. This is not about becoming passive or ambitionless. The opposite is true. When you know who you are and what you stand for, you can pursue your goals with more focus and passion than ever before. But you pursue them for the right reasons. Not to prove your worth, but to express it. Not to find yourself, but to be yourself. The journey to find and build your anchor is the most important work you will ever do. It's more important than your career, more important than your bank account, and more important than what anyone else thinks of you. Because at the end of your days, when you look back on your life, you won't measure it by the storms you avoided. You'll measure it by how well you held your ground. If you don't know who you are, no destination will ever feel like home.